Supposed to be a vaunted matchup, except both of these teams came in 1-2. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson facing off. Tyquan Thornton's really developed in their absence. Chiefs up 27-10. 30-13 now. Oh, boy, they're pouring it on. Look at that find right there. Chiefs end up winning this one in a kind of a blowout, 37-20. Not what you expected in this one. And Patrick Mahomes finished with 4 passing touchdowns on Sunday. That puts him over 250 for his career. He achieved the feat in just 116 games, faster than any other player in NFL history. Mahomes did it in 5 fewer games than the previous record holder, Aaron Rodgers. Jeff Darlington caught up with Xavier Worthy, his wideout, postgame.
Xavier, welcome back.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
How'd it feel to be back?
Man, it felt amazing just to be out there on the field, guys, man. Long off season, and I just was hoping to come in and get everything going, and it didn't happen how I wanted, but I'm here now, and I'm here and ready to go.
You know this Chiefs team is never going to put too much on one person, but having you back did feel like it changed the offense. How much did you feel that being out there?
Man, just me being out there, I feel like I just want to be the guy to make the play, and I feel like I always just put that on myself to be out there and get the energy going on offense.
What else was working? It's been a minute since I've seen 37 points on the scoreboard here. What was going so well for this team?
Man, I feel like all week the guys were locked in. We had great practices, and we just kept stacking, and I feel like we're just going to continue to get better and better.
I know Patrick has said it himself, when we get our guys back, you got one of his guys back. What does this mean for the season moving forward?
Man, we just can't wait to get 4 back, man. It's going to be fireworks.
That's right. All right, thanks for your time.
Yes, sir.
All right, when we get our guys back, and you saw that offense, the Chiefs played like a Super Bowl contender today, Coach, but, we talk about the difference here. I know Xavier Worthy's a great player,
Yes.
but this was a completely different Chiefs team. What did you say?
Well, especially offensively.
Yeah.
Defensively, they have been playing consistent for about a month. But this offense finally showed up. The big explosive plays down the field. That opened up a lot of running lanes. Patrick Mahomes was carrying this football team. I mean, he was the #1 runner for about the first 2 or 3 weeks, right? But now it all comes to fruition. This is the Chiefs that we anticipate seeing on opening day. It's taken them a little while, but AFC, beware. The Chiefs are back.
Is this sustainable or is this a one-off? I know Xavier Worthy's a great player, but still, this is 10 times better offensively than they've been so far
Well,
this season.
yeah, now they got Worthy and obviously got Thornton and Kelsey looked rejuvenated today.
Okay, all
he
right.
made a couple catches, right? The running game with Pacheco. So all these guys who were involved, they played at home, played a really good opponent in the Ravens, and I thought it would be more competitive than this, but the Chiefs just kept pulling away from them, and the Ravens had no answer for it.
Speaking of the Ravens, 1-3 right now.
Yeah, boy.
Who saw that coming? Are you worried about them? How worried are you about them right now?
It's a concern.
Yeah.
It really is a concern.
Are they Super Bowl contenders still?
After today?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say no because it's Lamar Jackson, it's the
Okay.
Baltimore Ravens, and you always see them in the playoffs. But they got to get this thing turned around. They need to figure out what they are on offense. They're struggling a little bit with, are they a run team? Or are they going to get the ball to Derrick Henry? Is Lamar Jackson running the ball? I mean, did you hear the tight end today, Andrew? Where was the tight ends? I didn't hear about the tight ends. It just looked like a different Ravens offense. Now, Chiefs defense is good as well. So, be interesting to see.
And they've had some tough competition first couple games, but
Yes.
still, no one saw them coming out 1-3. That's just a shock. By the way, no one saw the Colts doing what they're doing, starting the heartbreaking loss to fall to 1-3 against the Chiefs. He's speaking now to the media. Again, new on SportsCenter.
All right. Congrats to the Chiefs. I thought they played really well. Executed both sides of the ball, played good physical football, and won a football game handily, all 3 phases. I feel like they coached better, they played better, everything was better. So that's it. That's a game in the National Football League, and we'll have to go back to work, figure out how to try to win our next football game. And we've got issues that we're dealing with, and we got to deal with them in a real smart way and find out how to line up and play our best game against the Texans. That's going to be our task this week, and I know our guys will go to work. I know our coaches will go to work to do that, and that'll be our challenge. So, any other questions or any other conversations about it are just going to be just that. We've got to get to work and get ready to play a football game and play well and try to find a way to win a game and get on track. I believe we're going to be a good football team. We're just not a good enough football team yet. And all the things that go with that are the challenges that you face in the National Football League when you get circumstances that we've had. So that's what we'll go to work on. What questions you have?
Already left for the game with the hamstring.
No, I don't. I don't have any really updates on seriousness of injuries right now. There's nothing that looks like it's season-ending by any stretch for anybody, any of those guys. But we'll have to look at those injuries tomorrow and see where we're at going forward.
Coach, I know you're not going to make excuses, but you're down 4 starters, beginning with on the defensive side, lost 3 more. Can you just talk about the impact of losing that 4 starters?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about, the challenges. I mean, those are the challenges that you do face from time to time, and it's tough in a game like this against a really good team on the road. But you got to try to find a way to win anyway. And we never made excuses for those kind of things. And the guys who are up there are going to play well, and we've got to find ways to put our guys in the best positions to execute, play after play, and play a winning football game. That'll be our challenge.
Could Lamar come back in had it not been a 2
I really don't have the answer to that right now. Yeah.
Do you know what play is?
I don't have the answer for that, no.
Sean, if you think of a time when you've been this adversely impacted by injuries in a single game?
I haven't really thought about that. I don't know the answer to that. I just know that this is our circumstance right now. This is what we're going to have to deal with. Like I told the guys before, and I told the guys after the game, I respect our guys. I respect our players. I respect our coaches. I know that we're going to go to work, and there's football to be played, and there's a division to be won, and we've got to find a way to become good enough to win it, so it's a long season, but short term, it's a challenge right now. Our focus is on the Houston Texans game. That's what we've got to get locked in for, really, and find a way to play the kind of football game that we're going to need to play to win.
All right, Andy Reid now stepping up to the podium to address his Chiefs in their win.
All right. I don't have a whole lot to tell you about the injury part of it. I think we came out fairly clean there. My hat goes off to our fans for the job they did today, man. They were unbelievable, loud, aggressive, and we appreciate all that. Also to the Ravens and John, he's got a team that's a little bit banged up right now, and he's battling through that. We put up a great fight today, and I'm glad things worked out, obviously, the way they did. I was proud of our big guys on both sides of the ball. I thought they played well, and they knew coming into this game here that it's always going to be physical. Doesn't matter who's playing on either side, but it's going to be a physical game, and I thought our guys stepped up and came through in that area. Pat had a big day. Good to get Worthy back in there in the mix. He had a big day. Kels, likewise. And Pat hit a bunch of different receivers, which I think was a positive, and the run game got going, with Pacheco. So all in all, a good day offensively, and then defensively, I thought right from the get-go, after that first drive, that we just put our foot down. Spags had a nice plan there, and the guys executed. It was great to get Chris back. His aunt died, and it was good to get him back here, most of all to celebrate her life, and then work his way back, wanting to be here with his teammates. Leo interception was incredible. Just as being a football fan, that was an incredible play. I'm proud of him and the job that he did. And then holding Derek to the yards that we did, he's a beast, and we were able to take care of him there. So, and then special teams, I thought all the way around, special teams was good. Button missed a 56-yarder, but that's 56 yards, So we've gotten spoiled. But he's fine, and we'll get right back in the swing there he did with the last 2. So I think I hit everybody. So time's yours.
Maybe a lot of things maybe all feel better, but I would you to elaborate a little bit on Worthy and what supposed to change the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah, well, I thought Matt used him the right way, and put him in great positions, and then Worthy didn't flinch at all. People were worried about the shoulder and so on, but he, right from the start, he gets the first play and goes, and that's the way he's approached his rehab and everything else, and I'm glad he came out, healthy. But I thought the way Nags used him was smart job.
Patrick, especially in the zone, dealing with a lot of other things. What do you think led to that?
Yeah, I think having all those guys there, that helps. I mean, you start getting guys back in there and mixing it up. I thought the offensive line protected him, well for the most part. So he feels good.
I was going to say, were you confident Chris was going to be here in time, and I guess it came down to pretty close?
Yeah, it was close. I mean, listen, he had to do what he had to do there. I mean, that's not something you plan on or anything else. So you take care of that first, and then the game kind of comes secondary, when you start dealing with life and death.
Yeah, we felt positive throughout the whole week. We know what we have. We know what we're capable of doing. So we just went down and just did what we were capable to do.
When you get that done on the field, though, how's that feel, right? There's a difference between knowing you can do it and actually doing it, right?
It feels great. This is my 4th game now, so I'm feeling great, and I feel like we're just gonna keep on stacking. So I love it.
Did you know you were going to get a bigger load coming into the game? Did you get that feeling during the week? There'll be a little more for you.
I don't know. I say yeah, but I'm always getting ready. Like no matter what, every week I'm getting ready, but. You just never know. So I just, I'm just waiting. So it is what it is.
To have this type of production the first time, I guess just what does that feel like?
It feels great. My first time playing the Ravens. I thought they were tougher, but it felt great.
Enjoy this win, get back to the office and take it play at a time, build off of this one, and come prepared next week at practice.
How do you feel to get back in the end zone today?
I feel amazing. Good start. Hit the reset button. Could have got in there a little earlier, I felt, but it's all good. Bad plays happen, and that's how you bounce back. You get the next one, and put it on your back.
As one of the skill players on this offense, what's it like when Pat is just getting everyone involved?
It's phenomenal. You got guys making plays left and right. We got Smitty coming in, making a play, big, huge one, and you got the offensive lineman doing great, one play at a time, and the receivers making plays. So when you got guys making plays from the receivers to the running backs to the tight ends, it's contagious.
After you had that drop earlier, how big was that for you to catch that touchdown pass later on in the game?
Yes, it was important to know that catch first. Slow the game down, allow the game to come to me. Just get back to the keyboard.
He's just so explosive. You just see it when you get the football in his hands, man. It just makes the defenses have to adjust, and when they adjust, it's like he gets so much attention on him. Other guys can make plays happen, and so just having him out there, not only for his physical ability, but just the morale of the room, I thought it was huge.
What's it say about his versatility that we hit him on that 4th and short, but also obviously going 37 yards downfield? Does that speak a little bit to the game development?
Yeah, I think you saw at the end of last year, he's not just like this fast receiver that can run down the field. He's gained weight, he's kept his speed, and he's showed that he can be a guy that can do everything. And so I think last year was so pivotal of him having to be in a bigger role, obviously with injuries and stuff like that. And I think he had the injury at the beginning of this year, but this was the role that we expected him to be in, and he showcased it today.
A lot of receivers today really started the ball around. Felt like you were feeling the zone, I guess. What led to that, feeling that too play?
I think guys they executed well, and the offensive line blocked extremely well. And when that happens, you can get the football out and let guys make plays. And we had a good job as far as scheme. I knew where to throw the ball on time, and other than a few plays, I think at the beginning of the game, I thought we did a great job executing the whole day.
We've seen some frustration a little bit at times this year, but Nick Bolton said since joy with the offensive group on the sideline today. Is that a fair way to characterize it?
Yeah, obviously when you have success, it's just we've been working extremely hard and we want to have success, and we've been just making little mistakes here and there, and that causes frustration. But at the same time, we've been learning from them, and we'll learn from this game. I think early in the game, you saw the one to Juju that got tipped at the line of scrimmage, and then the other field goal that we had. There's stuff that you can learn from every game, win or loss, and I think I've been proud of the guys and how they've responded and want to be even better every single week.
You briefly mentioned the offensive line, but what did you think just overall today that they had?
Yeah, they did a great job, run and pass. When they play like that, it makes my job a lot easier. And so they're starting to gel, man. They're starting to gel and build that chemistry that every offensive line has to do. And those young guys are getting more and more experience, and they've played against some great defensive lines. And so they'll continue to get better and better as the year goes on. But they had a great day today, and let's build on it.
I'm curious what your comfort with that pocket is based not only on the day that you're seeing the offensive line, but maybe seeing improvement in the prior.
Yeah, I think the weeks prior has been something that's been important to me, is seeing that I can sit in these pockets and make these throws and get to my third progression, fourth progression, and stuff like that. Even the play to Juju, that gets tipped. that's third progression, and you see the pockets, it's clean, and having that confidence in them, it's pushing me to be better, and I thought we did that today, and let's continue to do it.
What would it like to have Chris Jones back in the locker room after this 24 hours?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously we were praying for Chris, and we love him, we're just happy to have him here, and so that we can be his brothers and support him. And I think it made guys step up and want to play even harder for him, because for him to want to be back here with us and at times that he's in right now, it speaks to the brotherhood that we have in the locker room.
Patrick, can you just take us through the touchdown pass to Hollywood and how that's kind of, I guess you kind of played off of what you set up?
Yeah, no, we wanted to go for it. We wanted to kind of put that final ending on the game, and we were talking in the huddle, and I could see that like 14 Hamilton was going to be on that side, so I wanted you to kind of give me a little kind of a pick. We knew there was going to be probably a cover zero type look, and so he was the last read, but I told Hollywood in the huddle, I was just like, man, if it's cover zero, man, you gotta win. You gotta win across the field, and he did that. He beat a good corner and won, and was able to get a touchdown.
Curious for your perspective on two throws, the deep to Worthy down the right side,
Mm-hmm.
and the floater to Travis.
Yeah, the deep one on the sideline, it was just Worthy beating his guy. It was man coverage. He won, and then giving him the throw down the field and letting him go up there and make a play. I think people, like I was talking, they think he's just speed, but he's the guy who can do it all, man. He can go catch those footballs over the top, and he can be physical and use his body as well. And so good to get him going early in the game and kind of have that threat for the rest of the game. I missed him like right after that. I think he was a little tired, but he could just not playing a few games. But you showcase that in the deep stop route he runs. He has a wide variety of routes he can run. And then the one to Travis, cover zero. We knew it was cover zero. And then it's about your guy just winning a one-on-one. And I'm gonna give my guys chances down the field. And Trav's shown for years that he can win those matchups.
The Leo pick and then the fumble, and you guys really punished them for that. You hadn't got to the first 2 weeks. How big was that to get those and then also punish Baltimore?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's a great offense. Like, that's a great football team. That's a great offense with two guys that are the top of the league, type guy, the quarterback and running back, and then with tight ends and the way our defense played today. I mean, I know they got the late touchdown, but they played lockdown defense, and they put pressure on the quarterback. They got interceptions, they got turnovers, and that sparked us offensively, giving us those short fields we have to execute and score off those. And it was a good team football game. It wasn't just offense, it wasn't just defense or special teams. It was everybody came together, and that's what we need the rest of the year.
So when you're during the week, you feel like this was coming this week, and especially like during the week, you think about those fourth and shorts that you can go for, really confident in those kind of plays that you guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing one of the better teams in the NFL. You know you're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive, and I know their record doesn't show, but everybody knows it's the Baltimore Ravens, and they've had so much success these last few years. And so we had a good game plan going in, and we knew we had to raise our game. And I think we finished the game the right way, but it was a close game throughout until the very end there. And I thought we executed at a high level in crucial situations, and that's what changes the tide of the game.
Well, last 2 days by. Go ahead, Nate.
Patrick, I wonder if it's partly because Xavier's back, or to your point earlier about the offensive line. How much did you feel like you had just better answers for them, let's say, compared to the first 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think obviously the offensive line, we just have better communication. We have better stuff that we talked about through previous games. And then with Xavier being back, it's just that threat of being able to win over the top. It's scary for defenses when they're going to bring pressure, knowing that you can get it to that guy short or deep, and then he can make plays happen. And so we had good answers. There's a couple here and there that I think I could have been better on as far as some of my answers. But overall, I thought we had a good game plan and we executed it well.
One other thing about Xavier, what's it take for that end around to function the way it did? It's not just the speed on that either, is it? 35-yard run.
Oh yeah, no. I was thinking about how fast Josh was running on that one too. Like the left tackle was rolling too. So it's just execution. We got into a big set, extra alignment on the field, and we had running the ball well. So then we were running the ball well, and as we were running the ball well, they got downhill, and we give the ball to Xavier, and you get the offensive line going in front of them. And I'm glad they got to be glad his arms got banged up, because I think he might have had a chance to take it all the way there, but he played it smart and got out of bounds after the run.
Lead analyst of the NFL on CBS, Tony Romo, joins us with more. Tony, these are the Chiefs we've come to know over the last decade about. Where did you see the biggest change week over week for a team that really returned to form in their biggest moment thus far?
Well, I think there's two things. Obviously, getting Worthy back was a big deal, just with the speed and threatening the defense down the field on the third level. But I also think there was just something about where they needed that feeling of competitive greatness, where it's like they needed a challenge. They know they're going to be in it. They know they're all there. And in the NFL, you need to have that sometimes smack you in the face adversity. And I think they had that. And then you give them a great opponent they have to go against, and all of a sudden you see them show up today at a very, very high level.
I enjoyed what you said on the pre-show today on NFL Today about Pat Mahomes, his ability to learn within a game. Nate Burleson, as eloquently as he can put it, called him, I believe, Pat GPT, some machine learning there. But when we broaden that idea across a season, what do you think that Pat Mahomes at this juncture of his career has learned about this team through 4 weeks?
Well, it is Pat GPT. I mean, I was telling Nate and the guys on the crew beforehand, nobody learns faster. It's almost like he's able to just an algorithm that learns faster than other ones. And his ability to do that within a game is why they've won so many close games over the years. It's been a challenge a little bit this year, but, you know, they've had some tough opponents. And they had another one today, but they showed up when they needed to. But, you know, that's the DNA of championship teams, your ability to figure it out and not have to figure it out after the game. When you go back and watch the tape, it's during the game. And I think you saw Pat learn throughout this game, but also I think they learned about themselves, about how good they can actually be when everyone's healthy.
Yeah. Reports of my demise have been greatly exaggerated once again here for the Kansas City Chiefs, who flex their muscles in a big spot against the Baltimore Ravens. A thought here before we go on Baltimore, Tony, because you fall to 1-3, that injury list gets even longer. I know there's runway in front of them, but how concerned are you right now with the start?
I wasn't that concerned going in. I thought this was more important for Kansas City with their schedule. Baltimore's schedule is a little bit more favorable for them, but I'm now concerned. If Lamar Jackson does have a hamstring, which we reported today was why he ended up not being able to finish the game, that makes me extremely concerned because I don't know that this team defensively can just will them to victories. The Chiefs have done that before. We saw Spagnuolo in this defense, while they're going through hiccups on offense, go ahead and just figure out ways to win. And Mahomes does his job in the second half. You're not going to have that quarterback. If that's the case, you can't afford many more losses before you have to go on some crazy run. So to me, this is a huge 2-3 week stretch for the Ravens. If I'm a Ravens fan, I'm concerned right now.
He is Tony Romo joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. Tony, always a privilege to have you.
Thanks. Appreciate you guys.
All right, so KC bounces back and a big win here over Baltimore, who falls one further over the Ravens. Back in studio with the guys, and it begs question because this is not the Kansas City Chiefs team that we've seen this season. It was not the Kansas City Chiefs team that we saw for large swaths of last season. The fact that they're figuring it out this early on against a prime opponent tells you what?
That they are still the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that it really is that. I remember, you know, a couple of weeks ago, people were freaking out, and there was talk of dynasties being over and whatnot. The fact is, in talking with people in Kansas City, they just said, we need to get our horses back, right? And so when they add Xavier Worthy, you can see how this offense can be a little bit more explosive. When Hollywood Brown doesn't have to shoulder the load. When Juju Smith-Schuster, on that rickety knee of his, doesn't have to shoulder the load. When Travis Kelce isn't making game-defining mistakes, this is a team that is going to compete. Now you start seeing that Isaiah Pacheco gets a little oiled up. He's not, running into the ground for 1.5 yards per carry. That things start to work out. Like Matt Nagy and Andy Reid still know how to call offenses. And Patrick Mahomes still knows how to play the quarterback position better than most people have ever done it. And so they're going to get it figured out, and good for them doing it on a national stage against the Ravens.
Emery, I walked into the room in the midst of this one, and I asked just collectively the room, what's the difference right now? We're about halfway through it between these two teams. And in concert, you guys all said Xavier Worthy. Yeah. How big of a difference does he make in just the way the offense is called for Kansas City?
One, because when you have that type of speed that threatens everything, it lifts the coverage off the defense. And now you have to play assignment sound football consistently. So because you're so worried about getting beat deep, now you have the opportunity to work things underneath. The run game was a little bit better today. Mahomes was super efficient in the underneath passing game. All of that stuff matters. And how we see Kansas City is how we see, like, let's say these college teams like Nebraska in the 80s or, Florida in the 90s, those teams that have gone week to week ranked number one, just like the New England Patriots in the NFL under Bill Belichick when he was there in their heyday. You don't.
The Chiefs just did something nobody expected, and it's going to shut up everyone who was saying the dynasty was over. While half the world kept repeating that Kansas City was dead after starting 0-2, they went out and completely destroyed the Baltimore Ravens 37-20, and it wasn't even as close as the score suggests. Patrick Mahomes played like he was sending a direct message to the entire NFL. Xavier Worthy returned from injury and turned the game upside down, and Lamar Jackson, well, he left the game limping in the third quarter with a hamstring injury because apparently he couldn't handle the pressure Steve Spagnuolo was putting on him. This wasn't just an ordinary victory, this was a power demonstration that's going to make everyone rethink everything about this Chiefs season. Man, this game wasn't even close to being as competitive as it looks on the final scoreboard. Outside of Baltimore's first offensive series, when Steve Spagnuolo was basically collecting data and downloading information to figure out what he was going to do next, this game was never really close. Even at the point where many Chiefs fans got tense there at the end of the first half, it still was never really tight from start to finish, including the whole game. This is probably the best Chiefs performance in a long time. The analysis is crystal clear. This was the most points the Chiefs had scored in 2 years, since September 2023 against the Bears, who weren't even considered a good team. Everyone was still talking about the Ravens as one of the league's best. The Chiefs were underdogs in this game, and they still simply massacred Baltimore throughout the entire game. This might be one of the best regular season performances we've seen from this team in 3 years. Connecting this overall dominance to what really made the difference, we have to talk about Xavier Worthy's return. The guy came back from injury and immediately transformed everything the Chiefs were trying to do offensively. Worthy led the team in targets, tied for the team lead in receptions, and led the Chiefs in receiving yards. He also led the Chiefs in rushing in this game. 5 catches, 83 yards through the air, 2 carries, 38 rushing yards for Xavier Worthy. He opened everything up for everyone else. The gravity that Xavier Worthy created, his impact, and how everything looked better around him when they got him involved was immediate. From the very first play, the Chiefs went right at trying to involve him, hit him deep quickly, almost hit him again right after that. It was immediate that the Chiefs were going to involve Worthy, and you saw the impact that had on the Ravens. All of a sudden, they said, we can't really let him run all over the field. We have to change up what we do a little bit. And now the Chiefs suddenly have this guy who can take advantage of soft coverage, can take advantage of when they go man-to-man, and he gets this free release. He immediately makes the defense actually have to respect somebody for real. Tyquan Thornton has been great, had another good game for the Chiefs. Juju Smith-Schuster has done an excellent job filling in, but I don't know if any of those guys were striking fear into opponents. As soon as Baltimore saw that Xavier Worthy was out there and able to play football, they were afraid. They're like, this guy can actually impact this game, and that changed everything for the Chiefs. It absolutely opened up everything out to the flats, to the running backs, opened up space over the middle of the field. It was a big difference. A lot of people might boil it down to the speed, and sure, Worthy's speed matters, but it's his ability to get open. The fact that he is a real NFL wide receiver who can run real routes that just happens to also be really fast, and it just allowed everything else to flow. Speaking of everything flowing, we need to talk about how Patrick Mahomes looked like his vintage self in this game. 25 of 37 for 270 yards and 4 touchdowns with no picks. That's a vintage Patrick Mahomes stat line. This was a 4-touchdown game from Patrick Mahomes, and boy, howdy, this was a y'all forgot game. This is a game where Patrick Mahomes came out and said, you guys forgot what I can do. You guys forgot that I haven't had my top 2 receivers for what feels like 4 years. You guys forgot that I've been dragging this offense on a hurt ankle on my back for a couple years now. The touchdown throw to Juju Smith-Schuster was a rocket. That throw was a seed. They did the slant flat RPO, and he looked at the flat and slung that sidearm slant to Juju without looking. The fade away against cover 0 to Travis Kelce. All these different types of throws. He was dealing in this game. It was fun to see Mahomes get a chance to stat pad a little bit like all these other MVPs with no rings get to do sometimes. But this wasn't just about the offense putting up points. The defense, led by Steve Spagnuolo, absolutely owned Lamar Jackson to the point that his hamstring started hurting in a 17-point game. Spags made that hammy hurt, buddy. Spagnuolo was putting a lot of pressure on that hamstring. The Chiefs are now 6-1 against Lamar Jackson, and that one loss was spiritually a win anyway because they were dominating and then just gave it away. Steve Spagnuolo's adjustments after that first drive were masterful. Since that first Ravens drive, Lamar Jackson's numbers were 7 of 13 for 58 passing yards and a pick. The Ravens team stats after the first drive: 14 plays, 4 first downs, 57 net yards, that's with penalty yardage included, a pick and a turnover on downs. Spagnuolo had Arrowhead Stadium and the defense putting Lamar Jackson in a triangle choke, giving him noogies, giving him wet willies. They were bullying Lamar Jackson today. Nick Bolton was absolutely awesome in this game. The way Spags weaponized him, how smartly he blitzed. They'd spy him with Bolton, wait for the protection to basically clear, and then rush him. It was perfection. Bolton had a career-high 5 pressures on 10 pass rushes, and he was unblocked on all 5 of his pressures. That's tied for the second most unblocked pressures in a game since 2018. The Spags-Bolton battery was unbelievable today. Leo Chenal's interception was incredible just from a pure football fan perspective. That was an amazing play, and the way they were using him more as a defensive end or as an A-gap mugging stand-up defensive tackle rather than a traditional linebacker worked perfectly once they got past the Ravens' scripted plays. The defensive performance becomes even more impressive when you consider the Ravens entered this weekend ranked first in the league offensively. The Chiefs held them to 360 total yards, and that Justice Hill touchdown run in garbage time inflated that number significantly. This was a complete defensive masterpiece from Spagnuolo. Moving to another key aspect of the game, the offensive line played pretty well. They were giving Mahomes a lot of time back there. He wasn't under a ton of pressure. Josh Simmons unfortunately gave up his first sack on a quick set, which stinks because it was a typical 2.5, 3-second sack. But besides that, the Ravens weren't getting pressure without blitzing. The Chiefs still need to figure out their answer to the blitz. Seems like it's a little off this year compared to years past, but the offensive line was solid in pass protection and even found some success on the ground. Jawan Taylor didn't have a penalty today, and that's a big thing to celebrate because that seemed to be a usual occurrence. There was actually an illegal formation called, but not on Jawan Taylor. No false starts or holds that I can recall from the Chiefs. It was a pretty clean game all around. The rookie class did some good things today too. Josh Simmons, outside of that sack, did some good things in the game. Carson Steele gets involved in a big way, and they're trying to find ways to involve him. There's still some chemistry issues with the screen route between Mahomes and him. They've been off 2 straight weeks trying to get the timing right. But after that first target, Carson Steele showed reasons to get excited about him and get him involved more. What they're doing with Carson Steele is his carries are really just behind the line of scrimmage passes, trying to get him out on the edge quick with some quick passes. He adds a different element to this offense, using his speed and open field ability to stretch out defenses along with Xavier Worthy, creating this horizontal stretch. Nick Jones had a good performance too. When you have receivers like the Ravens do, guys that win in the pocket or at the catch point, and you can get Nick Jones on them to play man coverage, get up on the line of scrimmage and press them, especially if you're getting pressure early with the blitz. His physicality really changes the numbers game. His ability to be super physical, reroute receivers, and slow them down in the route matters. The injury situation for Baltimore became a major factor as the game went on. They lost Pro Bowlers Ronnie Stanley with an ankle injury, Marlon Humphrey with a calf injury, and Roquan Smith with a hamstring injury during the game. Humphrey and Smith were officially ruled out, and Nate Wiggins was carted off the field with an elbow injury. These weren't the Chiefs' fault, but it certainly made their job easier as the game progressed. Looking at the bigger picture, this wasn't just about beating a good team. This was about the Chiefs making a statement that they're still the team to beat in the AFC. The national media that's been burying them after their 0-2 start is going to have to do some serious mental gymnastics to explain this one away. You're already seeing the goalposts moving online with people saying, well, everyone knew the Ravens had a bad defense coming into the game. But the Ravens were favored in this game. They were supposed to be one of the next big things in the AFC. The Ravens are now 1-3, and it's going to be interesting to see if they get buried the same way the Chiefs have been getting buried. This Chiefs team that everyone said was done just went out and dominated a supposedly elite team